start. One person gets in here, we're gonna start. We're gonna have an awesome time on this live. I have worked out some informal plans, and I'm gonna follow through with them. I'll explain them. I'll forecast them. I'll transmit them, and we will figure out how to get them done. Just waiting for a few people um, to avoid going to the nut house from talking to yourself. Oh, beautiful day. What a beautiful day. Okay, one person's in here. That's all we need. Hi. Um, so let's get started. If you want, thanks for the like. But if you ping something in the chat, got a question, absolutely with it. Today is Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday. This jacket's actually a little too heavy for what I'm feeling so far, but I carry so much stuff in it that I'm gonna hold on to it for now. If you're new, um, nice to meet you. If you're a lurker, just somehow send me something through transmit something so I know you're a returning lurker. First thing, I wanted to a friend of mine dropped off some food scraps, so I was just examining it. I don't usually examine it this hard, but I figured since I was doing this work, people might be interested in knowing about these type of systems. I generally don't throw food, anything that's not chicken. I find the source for it, and my chickens are it. So this is nice and soiled. Shouldn't be a problem. I see some tomatoes, some apple skins, string beans at the top, an apple in there, and this is perfectly fine. Dave, what's up? Dave, just gonna have a nice early chore day. Not really chores. I'm making work for myself. Anyone else that's hanging on, I'm gonna be going from here to there to here to there. At least in my head, that's how the plan worked out. Right now, I'm just observing some food scraps, and I'm gonna put that down for the chickens. This is the interesting one. Somebody decided to put popcorn in here, so I hope the chickens got to see the new Mario movie, but I doubt it. Citrus, not too much a fan of. The carrot that's black somehow. No one's gonna eat that, but that'll decompose as well. Uh, I see some broccoli, some tomatoes, some bread. All right, so because the chickens are out from Moscow, what's up? Hey, Defender. I'm just gonna throw this. I'll be right back to the camera, and then we can get started. Well, we are started, but if you have any questions, if you like the content, obviously you know what to do. I stream daily now, and it's becoming really relaxing for me to stream so I could have some company in the garden. When I dump this out, I might get a rush of chickens, might not, but they will have fun eating this. Let me not take too long. If I shook something, they would come. I'll do that for this. Their 15 seconds of fame. I'll shake something, and so putting that right there. When I come back, I don't intend to see any of that. Oh, may not have had to shake something. Okay, here they come. I think, man, I don't know. I feel like they have. No one ever talks about how the hearing is on chickens, but every time I open the door, I mean, they're easily 100 feet away. And sorry, let me get you a better view. Even though that's not what today's stream is, they must have their fill on worms because they acting pretty lazy right now. If I open this, they like, okay, it's time. So that should keep them busy. Big Mama's coming. Um, what's the, if you're still hanging on from Moscow, what are the temperatures like where you are right now? Because we're just in early spring, and I mean early because we got a day this week that is going to be 24 degrees overnight Fahrenheit. That's not what we desire. Okay, so we can have this chat. I think my internet will allow me to go over here, and you can watch. You get a better shot of them. If you have any questions about anything you see in the background, let me know. Um, okay. Uh, okay, so that's a good shot of them. I want to be able to talk. I guess steal some shine from them. So, oh, I missed. I didn't bring the bag. Oh, plus 12 degrees. I'd have to look that up. I'm imagining that that's, if that's in Celsius, if that's in Fahrenheit, then I don't even know if we cold frame in there. We need a heated greenhouse. All right, so if I had to guess who's getting the best stuff and what they're getting, let me just observe. I'd say popcorn is the winner so far. Popcorn. Anyone else? Shout out where you from. This to me is a one of a kind situation where you get to link with people all over the world. You get to choose the energy that you use. I choose positive energy. I just like to share what I'm doing. And like I said, it's very helpful to me. No one has touched that black carrot. Didn't expect that. So we got bread and popcorn is the first and desired choice. So I had a stream yesterday, which is Good Friday, and um, a lady by the name of Beverly, they walk, what's up? Southeastern Colorado, 26 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, good luck to you. Good luck to you. When you're in such cold temperatures, um, consistently, right now I think it's only 50, and I feel like it's 75. So you'll get there, but yeah, it's hard gardening, and I really like the fact that I favor perennials for that reason, because they seem a lot more resilient with what I call climate insecurity. Indiana getting warm here. Yeah, never been. Of course, I got to go to Gary, Indiana. That's the birthplace of Michael Jackson. So I know Gary's a little, well, at least from what I watch or read about it. But yeah, Indiana's cool. And of course, big basketball place. So a viewer, I just call everyone YouTubers. So a YouTuber um, told me yesterday that Papa always said that you have to plant potatoes on Good Friday. That's a ritual. And she first said it, I was like, oh, okay, just taking information. Um, and I didn't plan on planting potatoes. And then last night I streamed. So I stream in the evening. So if you guys want more of a, are you okay? Are you loud enough? If you guys want more of a, I don't know, somebody who does this work and then goes inside and become less of this, but also not polarizing. That's kind of what I do at night. We get into different topics. Um, it's fun. It's fun for me. I've been doing it. Like I said, this will be my 61st straight day. Do you prefer burger? I know you see that, right? So I don't have Burger King in here, but that's not even close. There's a pretty bad rep for Mickey B's, That's not even close. I think Wendy's. I actually worked at a Burger King years ago, so I got to see it from the other side. Um, but I would prefer Wendy's with the whole, never frozen, fresh claim. But I don't really eat fast food. My kids, they put me through it when we're driving around, obviously. Um, so this in my script on here says potatoes. So a YouTuber um, said this, put it in the air, came on my stream last night, second touch point of the day, and said, "Hey, did you plant your potatoes?" I did not want to or think about planting potatoes. So when I went to bed, I woke up in the middle of the night and I said, "Well, you have potatoes because you always put them away." Like when I get food scraps, that was kind of the connection. A lot of people don't know what is to throw out. They just know that they don't want it, and it's waste to them. It's not waste to me. It's not waste to the chickens. So I had potatoes, and it just came to me in the middle of the night, and I know I missed Good Friday, right? One day off. So I won't tell anyone, but of course, this thing will keep track. And these potatoes came to me from the same person who I got those food scraps from. And they weren't, you couldn't do anything with them. But I put them I put them in this bag, Burger King. So there's no Burger King in here. Haven't in Moscow, haven't got McDonald's, we're having analog, which I don't know how to say that word. I'll try. I always try. Vkusno and Toka. Hopefully I did right. You can tell me. You could grade me. I had a fun stream some time ago where people would try to get me to pronounce words. But these clearly have ears on it. And I think I have a great spot. Ooh, this one looks good. So these want to grow. They're not going to grow super large potatoes. And it gives me an opportunity to not waste the product, have something that could be for survival, and go into the ground and get out my way. I didn't add to garbage in the world, and my chickens aren't going to eat these as they are. So they're really having a popcorn fest over there. So I figured I'd take you guys with me. Hang out if you want. So I don't know how long this is going to take. Let me give you part two of that, actually. So this little, okay, let me just frame this camera. Sorry if it's a little tilted. I'm not on even ground. Um, I'll use this as my pointer. So a couple weeks ago, I put this whole structure together, and the idea was that I'm going to plant into the cinder blocks. That's still a thing, and behind this, I'm going to favor perennials that so I'm doing multi-functions here. I'm gonna favor some of the perennials that I've grown a good relationship with. I like their growing patterns, but I may not want to keep it exactly where it is. So it's not really disturbance, it's actually like multiplying the plant. But the real benefit for me is not to feed the chickens any of those perennials. The real benefit is that the sun is coming right now. The sun is this way, and the sun goes like that throughout the summer. So this area is a real hot spot for the sun. And if I can get a lot of growth here, very close to the coop, the run, it'll keep the chickens a lot cooler, happier, healthier. I may have less broody problems, just a whole bunch of benefits. And if they can eat, some of the extra, they won't always have to rely on me. So it'll be a nutritious avenue for them. So I'm going to get some potatoes. I dug up some horseradish. I was looking at quick Google search. I was looking at companion plants. Anytime I put something in the ground, I just want to see how it does with neighbors or if it's a warning not to do something. Warning, warning. And it looked like, if I can remember correctly, potatoes played really well with things that don't have roots. Sorry, I have to open this fence. I can't wait to have a full camera set up. Okay, and I'm trying to hold a drink at the same time. Okay, so I have a whole tripod that I'm moving around here. Sorry. Teach. Okay, so let me close this fence. I don't need company today. Okay. No elegant system here. Just a D clamp. I will be to be an actual fence soon. Hopefully. I did put my spade over here. Again, if you guys have any questions, I was just talking about how potatoes, since I'm gonna plant them, I might want to just be good about where I put them and what I put with them. So I found an awesome spot that I did not plan for yet this season. So I'm off to the front now. I'm more of a front yard gardener. I'll just take a brief step back so you can see the wilderness that's going on. So this is I have to walk in it so you can see. So this is all mostly perennials. The goal is to have a lot of bushes um, and herbs. And this is more of a walkthrough area, not really a disturbance area. But I do let weeds sometimes have fun depending on who they are. So in here I have different textures. There's some catnip there. There's bee balm. There's yarrow. These are currants. This is a Nanking cherry. This is a chokeberry. And then beyond this temporary netting is more of the garden that I intend to maintain, that I did in the past, and I got kind of choked up in the past couple of years doing different things. So, all right, that's that. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to carry different tools. Okay. And there's a lot going on, a lot of mess in the back. And if the internet cuts out, please let me know. I could just kind of shift left to right and figure that out. But this is the area that I want to be in right now. Let me just get the camera on a better tilt. Ooh, it might be too hot. It might be time. It might be, I think it's time. I feel like I'm going out there for a basketball game. Oh, for example, private on Russian means hello. Private. Thank you. Thank you for saying I have a beautiful garden, man. I'm not a good gardener yet just because I don't focus. There's things that I focus on. I'm very in the future with a structural conversation. So I see structure first, and then I want things to grow into that structure. Now that doesn't always occur. And the other part, trying to find a place to put my jacket. And the other part about that is not just that they don't occur, sometimes the structural part requires more human resources. So one of my goals is to just simplify a lot of what I'm doing and be hairline focused on what I'm trying to get out of it, you know. And sometimes it's not a certain thing's year. Sometimes things take multiple years. So, okay, so this bed, I already could see some intervention. So I got some onions that were just sitting on the side. So I can get those onions. That's not a waste product. I can move those onions um, back to where I showed you where the cinder blocks were. Sorry, didn't know I wasn't on camera. Okay, so I see. So I have these are Brussels sprouts that I kind of planted late in the season. This one still looks alive, so that'll be another cool thing to put by the chickens and just let it do what it do. You know, I don't know if Brussels sprouts are biennial, but even one, if I just save one, I'll be happy. Where's my? I'm notorious for not having the right tools around. Um, okay, so we'll see the root system here. The only thing, like I said, this is still alive. I'll show you that. I didn't know that when I looked at this earlier. I thought it wasn't. I might just cut off the top, but you see the green there. Green means go. So I could probably I'll start from the top. I'll trim and shave all of this off. For now, I'll just keep this over here, and we'll see what the rest of them are doing. So there's that. There's all these little onions that have kind of set in here. Is that? Oh, there's a bucket that I put that has my tool in it. That's right. And it has my tool. Let me go get that bucket. Load up the questions. That bucket is right over there. So this is one of my passions. Um, but sometimes I feel like I gotta eat myself out of a trap. And the trap, sorry, the audio may cut off. I'm pretty far right now. Trying to move fast. Uh, if the audio is on, that's absolutely crazy because I am far, far. I did find the bucket though. I found the bucket and I found the tool. Okay, I'm on the way back. Let me take the same way in the camera. Still getting used to that. One of the when I got the mic, I was super excited because I could be hands free, but it's a gift and a curse because the way this is done, maybe what I should do next time is I should turn the camera. You can see me walk far, and then you could say, "Oh, okay," and you know, no anxiety needed. Um, I am back, and I went all the way there. Oh, you hung out with me. Green means go. Yep, it sure does. Uh, okay, so this is what I want to get. I love this tool. I will buy this tool 10 times over. Most of these tools are made really bad. But this handle, I would replace it if I need to. This is real steel. Um, yeah, this is my tool, and it's good at getting around roots and all of that without doing much damage. I see a little strawberry in here. Okay, so these onions are gonna come up pretty easy. and they're gonna want to live for the season. So look at that. I got an onion and a tiny little strawberry. So this is the onion. It smells good. And this is a strawberry plant. Don't know if it's one I planted or if it's wild, but I'll treat it with care. Actually, one of the companion plants did say strawberry, so I intend in this project to take strawberries from over there, and I'll show you that. It's really a hangout. So if you want to chill and just see the thinking that I'm going through, this doesn't look like weeds. What is that? This is a lavender. Um, I did want to move that, so I have a whole herb patch that I'm doing. Found another strawberry. So I guess I'm just doing an inventory first. And I don't want to work too slow. So, all right, let's just put this here for now. Show you this small little onion. This is like an onion set, but this is not why not to give up on that, because look at the green there. So that'll push out roots for sure. Oh, nice hawk. Yeah, you guys got to see this. If you no, did I miss it? I missed it. Okay. Sometimes we get some nice flybys. I don't say it. The chickens are like, all right, bro, keep flying. So this is another onion. So I'll just take an inventory on these onions, and I will eat. I will eat from these at some point, and that's the cool thing. I kind of just left them in I picked them because they weren't big enough, and I just put them on the side, and they eventually grew and rooted. So anything that wants to live, I mean, it's telling you it wants to live, right? So I'll just honor what it wants to do. All right, another onion, and this is not gonna make it. This one is squishy. Um, didn't make the cut. Another one. Why is my bucket so far? So I just got a bucket here. Okay, onion. This is the strawberry. Another onion, and I'm almost done with the onions. Okay. So even though this one is squishy, it decided to root out. So, and then look at the top. You got some green trying to push through there. It's like, I want to live. Let me live. Okay. You said what you needed to say. So all of these onions, I'll just pick them up and set them over there. I'm not worried. It's not too hot. So I'm not really worried about sitting them out in the sun for now. So this is the harvest. So it's a good amount. And they already sprouted. So that's cool. Let's get them out the sun at least. I just covered them with cardboard. Now, let's figure out what this stuff is. Oh, these are bunch of onions. That's cool. That'll be nice over there where the cinder blocks are. So at some point, I must have put somebody who's in love with some onions, but these look like bunch of onions. Um, so these will be really good for that area. Thanks for hanging out with me. Um, we keep this thing going. I've been showing a lot of momentum and energy, and a lot of people have responded. Responded, response has been pretty positive. Every now and then, you get some crazy comments, but that's par for the course. Positive energy. So here we go. And like I said, the coolest thing about this is, at least to me, yesterday I got a comment. The comment turned into me remembering that I had potatoes in the house that were stored in the dark in a cubby. And because of my subconscious saying, no, you're going to plant those potatoes, I don't care if you're a day late, um, I had to find a spot for it. The spot turned into research about what I'm going to do with that area and why this is a good spot. I'll tell you why. This is the perfect spot. For starters, there isn't anything in here. So this lavender, which I'll dig up now, has done. The lavender looks really good. It overwintered really nice. And besides the lavender, there was nothing over here worth my time, really. Like worth me, not shouldn't say time, but my investment. So here are some small strawberries. Um, I got some bigger ones over there, so when I come back and put the plants down, I'll use the bigger ones instead. So let me just put these aside, and we'll get this lavender pulled up. I don't know much about lavender's root structure, so I'll be cautious. But when I feel it, it's already pulling out. So look at that. Woo. Not as potent as some of the other ones. I don't know species wise, but it's not as potent. I could put my face right into it. So I'll just put this one in the bucket so I don't forget. I'm gonna be moving that over there. Um, this is I don't like discriminating, but this is a weed that I'm okay with moving on from. I don't even like touching this thing. You could kind of see, like you could see what. Yeah, that's you shouldn't be touching that. The soil looks generally good in here, nice and moist. No, I don't see any issues that are glaring to me. This is a mugwort. Oh, that moves, so that means that this one's root is all the way over here. These are not. Uh, these want to spread everywhere. Okay. Oh, not my drink. Oh, they got my drink. Okay. So when you spill your drink or it gets dirty, you're still like questioning, should I do it? Should I do it? All right. Well, I'm not gonna bore you with that. Um, First thing is I want to observe. One, is this dead? Two, if it is dead, is it something that probably killed it? There's a nice worm hanging out. Oh, I see some roots spiraling. I'm actually not sure this thing is dead. But I do see the roots spiraling. And to me, that could mean that I didn't plant this one well when wherever I got it from. And the roots probably just kept going in a circle and didn't like, yeah, I'll classify this one as a goner. Um, that's okay. Go into the compost. That's a big lesson to just, sometimes you just got to move on. Um, yep. Same, this one, you can see the roots are dried out. Could have just been water. And if they died, I'm pretty sure they died before we had all the snow. This one's alive. So I got two out of four. I could tell. I could look at the roots. The roots are telling me this one's alive. Let me just show you that. Look at the color of the roots. They're like light colored. That's alive. So, excuse me. Sorry. I have two that survive. I'll cut off, I'll cut off what I need to cut off. Yeah, in fact, the one that I just pulled, it actually has leaf growth inside if you look. I should check the other ones, but you can see green leaf growth on the inside. So I don't expect to get much to it, but I could throw it in the chicken area and call it a day. Um, Not gonna be super invested in them, so that's you know it is what it is. So I don't have anything else in this bed I need to take care of before I figure out how I want to do these potatoes. Those are my two strawberries. Let me just rake this out a little bit so if I can notice any problems. I don't see many weeds. That's cool. I ain't gonna have to maintain too much. So I was saying why this area was perfect. Um, One reason is the stuff in here I wasn't invested in. The other reason is I already put this high enough so that I could add soil to it. And potatoes during a certain point, I think you add soil and then they keep producing as they go higher. So I figured that's a pretty good use of this space. So let me just fluff this up. It's not on fully level ground, but it's fine. See some nice worms in here, so that's a good sign that things are looking good. Now let's see how many potatoes we have. So I did notice, and thanks for hanging out, guys. Oh, Mascadon, what's up? What's up, Marlon? So just to catch you up, Marlon, I was feeding some food scraps to the hens. My planned project was because a YouTuber came in the chat yesterday and said you need to plant potatoes on Good Friday. I told her that's great. I didn't have potatoes and wasn't thinking about potatoes. And then she came on my stream last night and she asked did I do it. So she followed up and I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, but you do have potatoes. A friend of mine who brings food scraps, they throw stuff like that out. So you see other things that you could replant like celery. They'll just cut off the celery. They don't plant it. They don't know that it grows back, right? So when I see that, I'll just instead of giving it to the chickens, I'll just take it out and use it. So I have a BK looking thinner, man. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I think I gotta lose like 25 more. I'm kind of stuck where I am, but I think because I'm back to moving outside, it's showing up, But when I look at myself, I'm like, okay, stop eating that late night snack. So all these potatoes, I'm not worried about the species. It's more survival for me. So whatever's in here is in here. Hopefully we plant all this up. I think most potatoes are 12-inch spacing. I could ignore that as well. I don't really care what happens here. What I really care about is that I'm using multi-functions and that I'm harvesting the stuff that came out of here. So I got just to catch you up, Marlon, as well. I got some Brussels sprouts that were, on in the ICU, and because I just made a new chicken garden, that's a perfect thing to put in. And if they pick at it and take it and get to the Brussels before me, that's totally fine. If the Brussels are biennial and they go to seed, that's even better. That I'll get some seeds. So right now, this is it. I'm no more Burger King. So I did look up briefly the companion plants, and I noticed that I do have some of that stuff working already, and I was gonna start moving stuff around to have companions. I went to sold some broccoli, and it actually came up. So this will be the first place that I'm gonna put broccoli next to the potatoes. So when I plant this, I'm just gonna be mindful that wherever I put this, I'm gonna have broccoli. I want companions. So I wouldn't want to reach for the broccoli, even though this bed is not that big. So let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I don't really know how to put 10 organized, but I figured since broccoli's on stalks, they could kind of line up. So let's not think about it too hard here. I do want to give the potatoes enough space from the edge. So we got this little tiny one. I'll just put this one somewhere else. And we could just do a grid of 9. And that would make your math teachers happy and call it a day. Okay. So because I'm going to try to mix some plants in here, I have a basic grid. Let me just change the camera angle. Hey Marlon, by the way, man, I'm almost at 400 subs, man. We doing this. So I'm gonna give them a little bit more space. And as far as what I was just saying about the companion plants, I'll just kind of observe when the potatoes come up, how to go about that. The bed is what it is. Like, don't I can't make this one's a little squishy. It'll still work. So we're just going, I guess, about 4 inches. You see my measuring. This is my measuring. I have a hori that I usually use, but when I'm on the move, you can't really stress yourself, especially with something that you don't care. Like, I mean, not that I don't care, but I keep stuff in the ground on a just in case basis. So this will tell me right away. See, this one I didn't even notice. So I will. This one got some really small ears. It's the runt of the group. Thanks, Marlon. Hey, what's up, Rob? How you doing? Where you from? So this got really small ears. So if you want the runt of the group, you could choose the runt. I'm gonna go with something that has more defined ears, even though it's not that big. Like I said, I'm just going about 4 inches down. There's no magic here. I'll do a follow-up video or any of the other stuff that I do here. That one wasn't even 4 inches for sure. I could always just add soil to the area too to get my target. This is what makes gardening fun and realistic, is that you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And it comes out how it comes out. And if you're comfortable with that, so be it. Okay. So I won't be, that one has bigger ears, so I'm going to go down a little bit lower. I mean, we're still getting a lot of freezing nights. So try to get it down enough that doesn't disturb it. So that looks good. I won't be able to transplant the other stuff. What I'll do is I'll at least take you to it and explain what's going on. Okay, so we're taking this bucket. We don't need the spade for now. Just remind me of where I put this spade. I'm thinking of a color coded system, maybe with some infrared on it, something that is gonna be able to help you find your tools, like a tool finder for homesteaders. Um, okay, so okay, this is a good example. So what I do early in the season, especially when I find things that look super happy, I'll show you real quick. And I do have to find my hori, but I guess this will do for now. So, okay, you can see. So I have all of these strawberries that have nice sized leaves, and they're kind of like just trying to grow in the oblivion here. So this is the type of stuff, if you want to move around, um, if this strawberry is going to grow here, it'll grow anywhere. That's kind of what it's saying to you. So that wasn't even hard. So we just took care of, I just earned, I earned like a video game just now. I just earned some strawberries. So that's a weed. These are 3 healthy strawberries that um, I don't have to go to the store and get those dried out ones and see them come to life. They're not even connected. Their roots are just kind of intertwined, and it's okay to break roots. All of the crowns are actually not super small. So these are going to make some pretty good strawberries. So I'll actually go back. You guys could watch me make it over there, just so you can get familiar with, as I keep showing where this stuff is. And look, I got some, I didn't even realize, look how many worms in that one little stack. This is an example from a permaculture perspective of your edges, and because that's the concentration of the the moisture that's going to be there because it's really dark, because of the stone, and that's a border. You're going to get a lot of this. So me just pulling this up, and I don't mind moving from here to there. I don't put egregious I was looking for the right word. I don't put egregious stuff in the ground, and I won't officially plant this yet. You know what? I don't have a problem officially planting it. All right, we're gonna officially plant this. Let's do it. Do I have a scissor? I like to cut off some of the roots of the strawberries. Okay. So let's put 3 in the ground. We'll go back to where we were. Oh, hi there, Jax. Jax, I brought you up last night, man. How you doing? Your question. Remind me if you're not the person. I gotta find who the person is. But I remember a question about if you gave me $10,000, like if you donated that, what would I do? And I brought it up. I didn't put your name on it because I don't know who's comfortable with that. But I brought it up and I gave a deeper answer because I thought it was an amazing question. And I had another question just about, like, what are your passions? When you jump online, it's hard. What you miss is I just planted some potatoes here. And because of my basic research about the companions that I should plant with it, strawberry roots go pretty well with potatoes. So I just found these over yonder. They look great. Um, and because they were in a bad area, so they're kind of like flattened. See how it's all like flattened if I hold this? It was leaning up against a bordering stone. But watch me separate these. And we're going to have 3 nice sized strawberry plants. Just like to get the soil. So look at that. Now with strawberries, when you plant those, the wherever you buy them from, it kind of shows you in the picture. It's not that hard, and you could kind of rearrange them. So I wouldn't. They're not tender. You can see the way I'm handling them. So this one got some other stuff. Yeah, I don't even have to cut these roots. So I just made 3 strawberry plants. Well, I shouldn't say I made it because we know who made this. Um, but I just was able to save 3 of these plants that probably would have been stepped on, forgotten about, or struggled the whole season to do anything. Um, and I know I have this grid going of potatoes here, so I'll go inside the grid. And for now, I'll just do one line of these strawberries and try to hit inside. In fact, since we did 1, 2, 3, we basically have a grid of 9. So this would be a potato. This would be a potato. So let me put the first strawberry here. And these are not, like I said, these are not hard to plant. Really, you just want to get the crown right above, right at the peak of the ground. You do not want to put that crown below. Um, it'll drown the plant, essentially. Not a technical term, but I've worked with them enough. Um, so that is awesome right there. And then what I do is I end up cutting off, leaving like anything that's hanging around. I don't want to encourage it to just hang. I like the new growth to take over, and the new growth grew here, so it'll be happy exactly where it's at. So now we have potatoes and strawberries. So actually, what I'll do then is I'll border this in some broccoli. You guys have any questions? Potatoes, I think, are more like a 8 to 12 inches, but because did I say potatoes? Strawberries are more 8 to 12 inches. Potatoes are more of a 12-inch or more, depending on the species. So I'm just gonna push. I don't know if you guys want to see that closer. Anybody plant? Anybody plant strawberries? What I'm saying makes sense to you guys? And for the most part, it's like I'm just playing in the dirt. I was on live with someone last night, and they said they love to garden. The only thing that they don't like is putting their hands in the dirt. In my head, I was like, if you don't like putting your hands in the dirt, that's not gardening. This is just like a house scissor. I don't even have my prunings out here. I'm trying to do as much on the fly just to show you guys, because it helps me it helps me soundboard a lot of these things, and which is super helpful. I did, like I said, I did a little bit of research about what I could plant next to potatoes. I didn't plan this from days ago, so that's kind of why I'm just working through this and making the best of the situation. But these strawberries already, I know it looks like I'm cutting away some stuff, but these strawberries already look like little solar solar panels. Like they're pointing up, like, wow, you really helped us out, man. And the way you hear me communicating about the plants and with the plants is that's just who I am. Um, that's just who I am. I and like I said, it's easier, it's better for me, it's healthier for me to soundboard it than to like keep that trapped inside. Over this way, since we're here and it looks like the internet's holding up, um, this bed needs a lot of attention. It wasn't the best planting, but all of this is kale that kind of overwintered. Um, haven't decided officially what I'm gonna do, but I could at least rearrange it, weed the bed. This whole section over here, just from a permaculture context, is too far from the house and everything going on. So this wouldn't be a low zone. I want this area to be more of a far away zone, zone 3. So my plan is to just put beneficials over here. So I'm probably going to either go with an amaranth bed and a sunflower bed. So I don't have to ever come over here, and it'll just do its thing and it'll be pretty from the road. The road is right there. Um, but I like the structures that I did. But this is an elderberry. So this is going to bush out super big right here. This is the second year. I just stuck the a stick in the ground that had nodes on it. Just literally punched it in the ground. There was 2 previous trees that I planted in the same spot. Both of them died, and I had a conversation when they were dying. The hell is wrong with me? I had a conversation with it because it doesn't make sense. I mean, all of this stuff that I'm investing in, and you're gonna sit here and die as if I did something. Maybe something's off with that spot in the soil. Maybe there's something extra rich in it that's causing it to die. So with all the power in me, I said, you know what? You know who's gonna be able to tolerate this? It's the elderberry. Um, and it's a beautiful spot for it because of the sun. There's nothing. They cut all my trees. The state cut the trees in the front because of the hazard to the road. So this is a full sun spot. Um, so that's why I got that there, and it's doing. From the looks of it, it looks like the others that are around the property. So that's going to be great. And I'll just turn and pan over here. I don't think I've ever showed. So this is a peach tree that I got for free. It was a lacquer. It, it was a runt that was at the farm at the end of the season, and the guy said he didn't feel right selling it to me. So it's been in here for some years, but as you can see, the stem, the main stem, is really doing good. And this one, since we didn't pay for it, I didn't have much of an investment in it. I was working on trying to understand how to prune fruit trees. So this one is like manicured by me, and it's a part of my learning experiments. But it seems to have worked out. It looks a lot better. So I'll give you a last shot of what this bed is before we take a walk over there. Um, I have one more project. Thanks guys for hanging out. It is Jax. It is I don't even know the time. It is morning, but it's 10:12 Eastern time. When the garden for me at times is like a casino because I just stay out here all day. I find projects. Like this is a huge project that I need to do, but it's a little nerve wracking for me. So I'm trying to put, at least the initial plan was to put a whole blueberry patch, but that's not high on my priorities right now. And the blueberries are still in pots. Oh, 5:30 in the morning. Oh, so that means I can't keep going earlier. You ain't gonna be able to make my streams. Um, okay. So this is the area that the next work really for the day. This is the next, aside from making sure I plant the Brussels sprouts. This is it. And just give some backstory on what's going on here. Guys, I've been on here for an hour. I think this is my longest outdoor stream. Um, I think I smelled it. Yep. Okay. So my septic tank is somewhere in this area. And I know that because I had to dig it up, right? I had to dig up to get the inlet. And I had a dream of all of this being perennials, which is still fine. And then I would sprinkle in some annuals. And I got familiar with two plants, at least two perennials that really, really don't need me to grow and have benefits. Oh, you get a notification. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. So the first beneficial, I'll try to get the camera to it. This right here is bee balm. And bee balm, you can make tea. They're good for beneficials for insects. They smell amazing. But the problem, and I'll show you guys when I'm walking. This is a high traffic area. And this is what I experienced. Okay, you get very good shot. So when the season comes into swing and I'm walking here, this yarrow, so this is yarrow, and this yarrow continues to expand itself in massive clumps, and it becomes so big that it falls over, and it always falls over to like here. And this is more of a mowable path. The bee balm grows to, I'll say, 4 feet tall. Don't quote me on it, but if I had to judge, about here. And it is kind of disruptive when it comes to the sun of the other stuff. So these two compete. They live well together, but they continue to expand, and they're both kind of bushy. So my goal was, I made the new chicken area. Since they're bushy, I want to be able to use that to my advantage. And oh, Beverly, I just planted potatoes. Oh man, Beverly, I just planted potatoes. That's ironic. I'll just give you the backstory. Um, I'm a big subconscious person, and I try to get in touch with my subconscious. Definitely during sleep and when I first wake up. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I said, "But you do have potatoes." No, I'm not kidding you. I'll dig them up. I'll dig them up for a sec, and we can get back to this because you're the reason. Now I don't have excellent potatoes, but what happened was it dawned on me that when I get food scraps from people, potatoes have come in, and there was nothing wrong with the potatoes except for they started growing ears, um, little nodes. So I thought, I said, hold on, I do have potatoes. And I went in the closet, and no, it's totally fine. Well, I could explain it. So I had potatoes, I had them in a bag in the cupboard, and I said, you know what, we're gonna plant potatoes today. We're a day off. That should be fine, right? So I said, where am I gonna put them? And all of these thoughts started going based on what you started. And I said, you know what? I have this bed. I had Brussels sprouts that 2 out of the 4 seem to still be alive and overwintered, and I'm gonna move those to the chicken area because they look like, they're in the ICU a little bit. I got some onions, so I was able to harvest onions. I'm gonna put those in the chicken area as well on the outside. I harvested some buncheon onions. Super happy about that. And I said to myself, this area is perfect because once the potato starts to grow and you add soil to it, I already have the walls that I can add soil and it doesn't disturb anything else. So I could come in here and fork out the potatoes. So I got some, they're not super huge potatoes, but from a survival situation, we're going to have potatoes. And I did the research about companion planting with potatoes. So I found some strawberries that they kind of are wild here at this point, and I found some really, they have bigger leaves. So I'm gonna find more, and then I'm gonna put some broccoli on the outside, which they also said broccoli or cilantro, which they said influences the sweetness or taste of the potato. So that was for you, Beverly. Yeah, I like I said, I'm true to it. Man, look at this blossom right now. Look at that. The only thing, and I want to research this, but I don't really have time. I feel like putting water, sitting water underneath it to encourage certain beneficials to come have a drink so they can help pollinate because I have not been able to get fruit from this tree. Um, I think that bush put out a little bit, and then there's also right over there another Nanking cherry. So, but we're rolling. We got, this is a chokeberry. Uh, Another, that's the other Nanking cherry with the white blossoms. This is a pink champagne black currant. I mean, pink champagne currant. This is a black currant, and that I forgot the name of, but I just planted that. And then I have a goji berry that's kind of in the ICU, but I don't really know what to do with it yet. Um, so see who's still in here. What I was talking about, and thanks guys for hanging on. For me, this is, I can get used to doing this type of stream because it helps me to like think this stuff out loud. But this is my walking path. I mean, this is a high traffic path. And even though this bee balm is really small now, give it like a week or two, it's already going to show itself. And by the looks of it, it has done a great job to spread. So my new plan with this area is to take advantage of the size of the herbs so that the middle, and I'll just step into it real quick without doing too much compaction. Oh, Jack, you're back. Thank you. All right. So right now we have some yarrow over here, but it falls over. So the yarrow is more of a in the middle kind of plant. I usually put my lemongrass, which does really well, over here. And then I have my bee balm. There's some collards that overwintered. This is going. This is a blueberry. I see a catnip over there, and a couple strawberries and some thistles that I could, take care of, feed to the chickens, or compost. But what I'm trying to think through with this bed, oh, and I see a lemon thyme as well, is if we can use the middle of the bed for height, taller things that you don't need to really interact with. So that could either be the yarrow, the bee balm, which is already on the move, or just lemongrass, which would be amazing. I love lemongrass. And then on the outside, I can do shorter herbs, and it'll just be a whole herb plot, make it real dense, so that we don't have, much weed pressure. So I think that's what the plan is now. And I need to get, for starters, I need to get this bee balm and this yarrow at least on the border. I need to get that moved so I don't have the issue with it flopping over. So that's the last thing that I wanted to do. And then we're gonna, sorry if that was pretty loud. Then we're gonna move up there. If you have any questions, want to shout something out, by all means. Let me see it, mine. And I'm not gonna treat these. I'm not gonna treat these super sensitive. Um, you know, they took it upon themselves to ignore my plans. So, but they're gonna look really nice up by the chicken area. I would say that. And I don't even know if they're gonna come out as like one cluster, or we'll figure that out after. I assume they don't have, man, they're really compacted like the soil. What kind of projects are any of you working through? Is it garden stuff? Look at that. So that'll come out like a cluster. I've actually never dug up one of these, but that's nice. Just like that. I got my look at this. So those purple looking leaves, the back is purple. Building a house, that's what's up, man. I have a foreclosure, so I'm not building a house, but I am fixing a house. Um, so this smells amazing. There's a little bit of weeds inside because it's going in the chicken area. I'm not worried. This cluster is predominantly bee balm. I have a, what do you call this thing? A moving, I don't know, I always lose words, but we'll stick to the plan. And thanks for hanging out with your dad. Man, I only wish. I try not to speak about my dad on here, but he, before he had a stroke, he absolutely loved, when he came out here, when we first bought the house, it was like a safe haven for him. It was just competing with his dreams to go back down south. And he chose to go down south, had the stroke, and since then it's been hard to move forward, essentially. But I think about him all the time. He's the one who triggered a lot of the things that I do. Even though he didn't directly teach me, we do share DNA, and there's a lot of overlap with the goals and ideas that I have. And when I act on them, I just smile and say, I appreciate that he tried. But yeah, we would have loved to have built a house together. Still time. I mean, if we could get to the point where he's out of a nursing home, and I could get my freedom and go down south, we do have an opportunity. But I got a lot to bear with that. So that's the challenge for me. With my kids being young and me being a big part of their life, it's really hard to, make it all come together. So according to this project, I'm really glad that it came out as a cluster. I've made the decision while I'm digging that I'm not going to keep any of it here. If I could move it, because I see like it's coming out in a huge chunk. I got to figure out getting the soil replaced there, but I could just probably take something from the chicken yard, and these are perennials and herbs, so no big deal there. All right, so cluster number 2 See all of that? Woo, smells so good. The coolest part about, for me at least, about what I've done and what I'm doing is this is all from learning, like whether it's YouTube, whether it's reading, but I could give you 5 years ago and my knowledge base would not have been anywhere near where it is. So when it comes to a lot of the plants, you have to spend time interacting with them to learn their habits and behaviors, just like people. So this one has a little bit of yarrow in it, which is cool because they're gonna duke it out where I'm putting them, and they're gonna be beautiful, and I will have to harvest them. Um, I just want to show you wheelbarrow. That's that's the word I lost somehow. I don't get nervous on stream, but it is multi-dimensional as far as carrying a conversation, and you're thinking so much about, are there people there? Are you having a particular conversation? It's a good shot. So this is the bunch that I took out from this area. I still got one little patch that I saw. My goal is to leave nothing. Um, and I actually have a lavender that could come in here right away, but I got to bring over some soil, and I won't bore you guys with that. This catnip here, I was thinking about moving over there, but I found another one, and that catnip is probably in a good spot. This thing is really a cluster. A cluster as a word is used in so many different industries. This is a cluster, and as a software engineer, I work with clusters all the time. Just not this. Okay, so I do see some little strawberries in here. See, like this, that's a strawberry. All right, but that's success right there. Let me move the wheelbarrow out of the way, and you can see success from what I said I wanted to do. Now the yarrow, I don't know if it's worth taking all of it, so I'll focus on the edge first. And the thing with the yarrow is, what makes the yarrow different from the bee balm for me? Well, I don't make yarrow tea yet, but also the way that it clusters. This could be like, the way I look at it, this could be like one plant. It could have spread, but the bee balm spreads a little bit differently. So I should be able to just come in here. I have moved this around. The only bee balm that I've moved around is like new growth. All right, so that should have loosened up most of it. And like I said, I'm first focusing on the edge. If you're looking for a good perennial that don't take no effort, work, support, it barely takes love, smells refreshing, the prettiest of tiny flowers. I think this one is in the purple or pink family. Yarrow is a pretty good choice. Okay, so this one came up clustered too. I don't know if it's a good time of year, but man, look at that. And there's some tiny ones on the edge. But yeah, this little guy right here is gonna be 3 or 4 feet. And huge. Not only is it gonna be 3 or 4 feet, I let me use language that I don't use. I reckon that it's not only going to be 3 or 4 feet, but it should show that it's alive and well really soon when I move it. Like it's gonna be happy. It's gonna be in a sunny spot. This spot has more shade than the other spot. Let me just take care of this real quick. Okay. So yeah, I'm bringing some other stuff with it, but we just observe. Um, so it's running, and and the roots are going down, and then the plant is coming up in this little cluster, and the cluster just keeps going and keeps going. I'm not sure if it's running because of the sun or if naturally that just keeps the plant happy. There's a thistle in the middle of this, so let me not spike myself out. That's a thistle. Um, some weedy grass. I think this is called ground clover. Me and ground clover are really cool, actually. All right, so that's that. Okay, so it kind of looks like destruction. Let's give you a closer shot. When I was young, Dad planted a garden. I remember helping him in the garden. I have 6 brothers and sisters. Plenty of help with the garden. Good memories. Hockey goalie, welcome back. How you doing? No, it's not raining. Whenever someone says that, nope, we got the opposite. We got beautiful weather. I had a big Carhartt jacket on. You hated pulling thistles, Beverly? Yeah, we had when we first moved here, we had like 6 foot. Okay, Jax. We had like 6 foot thistles. They were like my height or a little bit taller, and they looked so intimidating. And I was defeated until I said, you know what, y'all not gonna get me like that. And now I have a smaller variety, which I could actually touch them. I don't have to do much. But the problem is if I'm not using my hori, I'm not getting the base root out. If you're not getting the base root out, then you're basically allowing it to grow again, potentially stronger. Okay, so I'll just show you guys where this is going, and then we'll call it game there. You guys have an awesome day after that. Yeah, Jax, come on, man. I have kids. There's 6, 7 all around. Okay. Look at the birds. They're like, I thought we were the stream team. Look at the stream team. It's waiting. I always call out one of the coolest things about having chickens. They're a really good starter animal, and it may just be all you need because if fed, they're not super aggressive to leave, your enclosures. I just opened up this fence and went for it. and they did not do anything. They're just curious, which means that for once they're grateful enough. Sometimes they lose gratefulness on my grass versus my neighbor's grass, but for once they're grateful enough. Man, I'm gonna get in shape carrying this camera. Okay, so I'm not sure if any of you caught me doing this, but I'll just explain, and then we could get off here. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the love. Um, so inside this bucket, I think a lot of you joined afterwards. It's the stuff that I moved from the area where the potatoes were. This one isn't alive. This is a Brussels. Well, let me double look. Wow, it is alive. It is alive. I could see purple nodes, so they all might be alive. Now, don't tell nobody. They're in the ICU for sure. Um, but I had two that had really nice root structures. So this is definitely alive. And this one is alive as well. Wow. Interesting. So I'm gonna put some water on these. This lavender I got from that area. It's probably in more of a perennial here lavender. It's not as potent. I don't know lavender that well, but I'm gonna get that put back over there. And we did have a bunch of onions that I left over there. So I do have a hose right here. Let me just put some water on this since it's nice and sunny. So I made this structure. When I say the chicken garden, I'm referring mainly to this area. And the idea is I'm still not sold on whether or not I'm gonna be letting the chickens out. But the idea is, do you have black chickens? You have a rooster. Oh, I could go. Yeah, I have a good amount of. I have most of my chickens are black. They're the ones from Tractor Supply, so they're not. I forgot what they call them, but they're not definitely not a purebred of anything. But they're beautiful, definitely beautiful. So this just came to me. I've seen people do similar things, but like I said, I'm approaching my scenario because all of our scenarios are unique. Some people have sun, some people don't have sun, some people have water. Sometimes things are closer to the house. But because I had all these perennials that I've been growing relationships with over the years, and I see how they grow, the biggest thing for me in this area was giving the hens a break from the sun, because this is the sun, and the sun is going to be shooting in here when we get up to even when we get to 85 degrees. So you could imagine on the 100-degree days. And that is going to force me to let the hens out, and they're going to find a place, probably a place I don't want them to be. But why not just make it more comfortable for them? So with this extra space, um, we could have plants on the outside that either could feed me, or it could be easy things to pick to feed them, to give them, some fun. It could be marigolds, which changes the color of the eggs. It could be some sort of greens that are really good vitamin wise for them. So that's what's going to go on the inside of the cinder blocks. And inside this patch right here, which is soil that I just took from out of there, is where I'm going to be planting up stuff that's going to grow big enough to give a break. I'm even going to put some sunflowers, because I have two of these sections. I have this one. Let me see what the camera is showing. So that one back there. So I think my initial decision was one, I just filled this one because it was closer. And I'll just put the stuff in there that I got from the other area, and we'll see it green up and grow as healthy as it wants. And I'm successful when there's a little bit of shade on the other side of this without me doing much intervening. And for the most part, that stuff is going to stay nice and green and tall and thick the whole season. So that's what's going on here. Um, yeah. You guys have any questions? Um, that's all. So I got some onions, bunching onions. So I could put an onion or two. Definitely could put a patch of the bunching onions in one of these little holes, and they'll grow nice and tall. And if the chickens, when they're out, they go after it. They go after it. But I haven't really made a final decision on whether or not I'm gonna keep this outside area off limits to the chickens. Not really worried about the greens, but I really have to be serious about harvesting the one of the main products that the chickens give off is the poop. As you can see, and you guys have hung out with me to see this compost pile, which needs to be turned today. So it's nice in the sun. I'm gonna be out here flexing and turning. I might just film it. I'm not sure. I need to definitely take a break because this is intense. But this was predominantly made from the poop from the chicken coop because there wasn't many green materials that were available, and I'm trying to time it so that I could lay this out and we get all these garden beds created and figure out what I want to grow. But it should be some pretty neutral, healthy compost. Um, so I'm just not sure. But I do know that the chickens pooping everywhere in the spaces that you don't want them to becomes a problem. So they like really hang out where some of the areas that the humans are going to be. And I really want that separation. So I may border this with a fence, even if it's just a temporary fence to get a feel from it and have a door so that these two areas are kind of separate. Now it'll keep it safe. I have a dog, so maybe my dog could get some more outside time. But everything comes at a cost, right? So that is one of the things that has delayed me for years. I struggled with not, I wouldn't say not having the money, but being careful about where you spend your money and getting the value back from it, because it looks like this is what they call like chicken math, a deep investment into the hens. And on one side it is, but what they produce for me goes into everything else that I do. Even what I call egg currency, right? Egg currency is when I'm able to offer eggs to people, no money. I gave away 3 dozen eggs yesterday, and that generosity yields something back. Maybe it's a barter or trade, but I don't initiate it like that. So you'll see when the prices go crazy again how many people think they want to keep chickens for eggs. But that's just one part of it. It's the eggs, the egg currency. And you got the poop, and then you got another stream, which is a way to get rid of your food scraps, yard waste. All of that stuff could go in there. They kick it around, and eventually it decomposes. And I don't have to, really make compost piles. That's just to kind of speed up the process. But I want to have as much. I don't think there is enough compost, and that's what I'm working on, is to have a massive amount of compost. And the hens are a big part of that. I'll get you guys, we'll end it here. I'll get you a nice shot of the hens and the blackbirds. And we could end it there. So so they're in the shade right now. So you can see how important the shade is to them. And they've clearly eaten. Now they're just picking little things off their feathers. And that's how they roll. So if you don't have any trees, you definitely need some bushes for the hens. That'll make them super happy and feel super secure. I have not had most of the attacks or interest from predators has been when the hens are confined. So even though I want to confine them, mostly I don't want to officially just not let them free range, and that's why I'm working on the Lady Eve's Belfour method with the pins. And if I can get that system working, and they respond well, and I could tell that they're happy with, really they just want to eat and they just want to feel good. So if I could allow for them to eat, feel good, take the pressure off, make them comfortable in the summertime, not wanting to go broody, I've done my thing. You be well. You be well media, man. I've been on for an hour and 36 minutes. Thanks for stopping by, sir. Yeah, I'm actually about to get out of here. Today, we did some cool stuff. I was able to um, identify from Beverly. Beverly is another, I call everyone a YouTuber because we're here. So Beverly is a YouTuber who yesterday told me that Good Friday was the time that you need to plant your potatoes, that you need egg. I just gave away 3 dozen eggs yesterday, sir. Maybe next week. See, that's what egg currency is working. So Beverly said I got to plant potatoes, and I we we discussed it. She came back on the stream and asked, "Did I plant potatoes?" I did not plant potatoes because I didn't think I had any. I woke up in the middle of the night and said, "Actually, you do," because somebody gave you food scraps and you put those potatoes away, making sure that they grow ears on them, ready to be planted. And I went to the cupboard, and absolutely I had potatoes in there, and I thought through this morning, where am I going to put them? How am I going to make companions with them? And that caused me to start doing some shifting around of things that I want to move to certain areas. So that's what this stream was about. You guys been hanging out with me the whole time, and I totally appreciate that. You could catch me on a nightly stream. I usually post some content during the day. Give it a like, give it a watch, give it a share, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm not begging for any of those things. It's really about if you find something entertaining or you want to keep this thing going. We're almost at 400 subscribers, and that's going to feel amazing. It's been a nice ride. It's been 61 days, and we're going to 100 days straight. So, and I don't know if it is 100 straight streaming days, but now that I'm into making content overall, it's like 100. It's really 100 days of content. Um, that's what it's feeling like. So we're marching down now, and hopefully we get there. Because I need a break. I need a break. Well, it was nice, guys. Thank you so much. I'll check you on the next one. Peace. Give a like, show some love, and don't be a sucker for love.